Hi guys, Mr. Matt here. Hopefully you had a good Memorial Day weekend, and I'm back with another art project for you guys. So this week I thought it would be nice to work on something that's maybe a little bit more abstract, but it's a lesson that involves symmetry, which I've probably talked with you guys before about, and it also involves your name. So it's called Your Name in the Mirror, and you're going to create artwork using your name, okay? And we can create a perfect mirror image of what you draw using just a pencil and paper. So I'll stop this view and zoom into my paper and show you how to get started on doing this. You could use anything to color it. I'm going to use markers probably, but you could use colored pencils or crayons or whatever you have at home. Alright, so be right back. Okay, so lots of times on the Word doc that I send out to you guys, you'll see a lot of the work on there was done with cursive writing. Now, you don't have to do it with cursive writing. I'll do two of them. I'll do one with and one without. But anyway, you slice it. We want to start by folding your paper in half the long way, or hot dog way, some people will say. But anyway, here's my 12 by 18 piece of paper. If you have paper this big, that'd be nice to use. But if you have only smaller, 8.5 by 11, that's fine too. So I line up my corners nice with one hand. Now I want to put a hand to hold that, and then I'm going to fold. Now when you fold, it's nice to start in the middle first, and then go out to one edge and out to the other. If you start with a sloppy fold and it's not even, the rest of this probably isn't going to go great for you. So take the time to get a nice fold exactly in the middle, and that's going to be our line of symmetry. Something that is symmetrical, if you don't remember, is something that's exactly the same on both sides. This is going to be called bilateral symmetry. And that means that when I chop this down the middle, this side is the same as this side. And so it's symmetrical in that way. Right? If I turned it this way and chopped it like this half might not match this half. It's symmetrical. It has one way that it's symmetrical. Okay? So I'm going to start with the non-cursive writing one. And I'm just going to do kind of some fancy letters here. So I'm going to start at my fold line. I'm going to sweep up. I want to make a nice fancy M. Very fancy. This is fun. And this is going to come down to my line there. There. Now I'm going to come like this. Ooh, I don't want that to go all the way there. There. Okay, now I want an A. Fancy A. Now your letters can hit that fold, but you don't want to go on the other side of it or below it. Cool, I like that so far. All right, I'm going to stop this. I'll get my T's in, and then I'll come back and talk to you about how we're going to copy this on the other side. Be right back. Okay, so I have this really cool looking stylized letter name. So what I'm going to do now with my pencils, I'm going to take the time to go over a letter, go over my lines, and I'm going to push hard. The first time when you're first drawing your letter, you probably don't want to push that hard, just in case you need to erase. But now that we have it drawn in, we know this is what we want, now you can go over it and darken in those lines. All right, so I call this in the project outline the graphite transfer trick because the stuff inside this pencil, the point of it, is called graphite, which is mined out of the earth, and it's like a a substance that makes marks when you rub on things and can be sharpened. To use like this. Graphite. The way this trick works, this graphite transfer trick, is very similar to any time in art class if you've used what I call transfer paper. That just has stuff like graphite on it, carbon, and it will print. So this will do the same thing. So now if I fold my paper in half, you won't be able to see on camera, but I can see through it, right? So I have, this is the M, I just folded that down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trace over the back of those lines that I just darkened. Take the time to be accurate and be right on the line. If you miss, it won't really work properly. You've got to, like a lot of things in art, you want to go slow and make it count, so to speak. Now I could have peeked during this, but I know it's going to work. So I'm just going to finish here. Whoop, it's off a little bit. And that's going to be enough to print that on the other side, right? So now I can darken what you have there, the copy, make it meet the other one at the middle. And look how cool that looks now. You almost don't even, it almost doesn't even look like letters anymore. Like when it was just this, you could really clearly see that it says math. But now when you look at it this way, it's pretty neat. So I'm going to finish copying and darkening my letters, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we can talk about how to finish this. Okay, so now you can see what this looks like now that my name has been copied using the graphite transfer trick onto the other side, and I darken my lines. Some of the examples you'll see in my Microsoft Word document, they make the name into a bug. Now you can do that. I think the cursive ones will kind of look more buggy than these. And the letters are so cool with this that I think I'm just going to color it in. You can really do these any way you want. If you know how to write in cursive and you want to do a cursive name bug, go for it. Or you can turn these types of letters into something buggy. It does kind of look a little buggy. But I'm just going to color it in. But I'm going to color it in kind of in an interesting way. So I want to do these letters with cool colors. So on the color wheel, green kind of transitions to blue-green to blue and violet and violet. So I'm going to start with green and go blue and then go like violet. So I have two greens, a light and a dark. I have two blues, a light and a dark. And I have two purples, a light and a dark. So I thought it would look kind of neat if I will start with green here and do dark green along the outside. I'm going to outline this probably with black in the end, but I'm going to wait. And the reason why is because if I make a mistake with the marker coloring in, because we are not perfect, although you want to, show good craftsmanship and go slow, but if I make a little mistake, I can hide that mistake later when I outline with black. So I'll show you what one of these looks like. Let's see here. I want to kind of go like this. Edging this. Now, what does it look like if I transition to the light right next to it? Now this wasn't part of my original plan, but what happens if I, since I left a little bit in the center, if I put a little bit of yellow in there, see if I can get it to almost like glow in the middle. Pretty neat. Okay, so obviously I would color it the same way on the other side because we want this to be symmetrical. Okay, so I'm going to stop video and I'll bring it back when I have more done. Okay, so I have my letters all colored in the way I talked about doing it, and now I'm just doing the outlining at the M and the A, do the T's here. So when I do this, obviously you want to take your time so you don't mess up. And any place where there's the letters touch, I didn't fill in a line there down the middle because I want them to kind of look like they're connected. It's more about than being a shape, really, than being a letter. Probably out of the shot here. There we go. Probably in there. Cool. Right? I could color in the background. I think it kind of looks nice and clean with it just on the white background. Now, signing this, you don't need to sign it because your name really is the art. And you can decide how you want it displayed. Maybe you want people to look at it this way or that way. I kind of like the way mine looks like this. It's got kind of an Asian feel to it. Makes me want to eat sushi. So, but what I am going to do, so I would put the date like right in the middle at the bottom, so that kind of tells the gallery director how I want this displayed. I think that's nice and neat. All right, so your name in the mirror. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep creating. We'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to show you the other way real quick. So if you do know how to write in cursive, I take my other piece of paper, line up the corners, do my hold and fold. I could take a pencil and I could write my name in cursive with the bottom of the letters meeting the line. I'm going to do big. Okay. And then, of course, we would do the same graphite transfer trick where you go over back your lines and the curve.
cursive letters become the symmetrical shapes. Cursive writing is kind of a lost art form, I suppose. But some of you, I think, know how to do it. The thing about cursive letters is they connect to each other. They're written diagonally, so my letters have kind of a lean or a tilt to them. I have a hard time seeing that one. Need to darken it down. Ooh, there goes my pencil. There, you can kind of see that appearing, right? And the cursive ones almost maybe look a little more buggy, like these could be antenna. And you could put eyes in there somewhere and make it into a bug if you wanted to. But it's the same concept, this graphite transfer trick. So there you have it, symmetry, graphite transfer trick, your name in the mirror. And again, we'll see you next time.